Hello fellow audio nerds, I'm Steph and this is Major Hi-Fi. So if you happened to see my video last week, you'll notice that the first holiday deal that I mentioned on my list of top 10 was the Sennheiser PXC 550. I've never done a review for them on this channel, so I was kind of excited to do that because I really like this headphone. It's been around since 2016 and yet still remains a pretty popular headphone in the noise canceling category. So what's so special about them? Let's go back in time. I'll share with you an unboxing of them so you can see everything that comes with them. I'll share with you sort of a listen through to kind of give you a more detailed analysis of the sound. And then I will meet you right back here for my overall thoughts. All right, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to my place. So today I've got with me the Sennheiser PXC 550. Yeah, let's see what's inside the box here. Alright, so as you'll see here, we've got sort of a simple package. First, it comes with some documentation, this nice zipping carrying case with, there's something else in there, with a place for the cables and accessories. Zips up real nice. It's kind of semi-hard, it can bend a little bit, but it's still nice and protective. A micro USB charging cable, an audio cable with a 3.5mm connector there, and it's also got a remote and microphone on board. A couple of accessories here, the in-flight adapter and a 1/4-inch adapter. And then last but not least, we've got the headphones themselves here. Now as for the design of the headphones, the headband has this sense of like nice thickness to it, sturdiness. It's made of plastic and aluminum. You'll see the extenders here sort of have the aluminum band and then reinforced by that strip of plastic here. It does have a good amount of flexibility, you'll see here, so it fits a wide variety of heads. And then I really like the foam on it. It's actually pretty thick. It's got a good kind of like soft foam coated in sort of a soft pleather material. Putting it on the head, there's the noise cancellation just came on. But yeah, so putting it on the head, there's a solid amount of clamping force, but it's not like overly done at all. It just kind of feels like sturdy and solid on the head, but is really quite comfortable. Then, as you'll see moving down the headband here, the plastic ear cups connects to this this yoke, and turning the ear cups like this actually turns the headphones on and off. So this is the off position, this is the on position. And then that connects to these yokes, which connects to both sides of the ear cups, lets them rock a little bit in the yoke, and yeah, it's just overall quite solid. Now I like the shape of these ear cups. They've sort of got this ear shape, this oval shape, and they really do have a nice classy look to them, you know, without the stickers indicating some of the things. You'll see that this look is just very clean and snazzy, for lack of better words. Made of plastic, there is a little bit of aluminum in there, and something pretty cool about the ear cups is that they have these sort of touch controls. So swiping up like this turns the volume up, going like this skips the track, goes back a track, play, pause, and honestly, the ear cup controls on these are really responsive and work really intuitively. I remember the first time I actually did use the PXC 550 and I was trying to figure out the touch controls, it was so natural that it wasn't a thing at all to be concerned about. And because it's so reactive, it's not one of those things where you feel like any sort of frustration. I've had that experience with headphones with touch controls before where I was like, I want it to do this thing, but it's not noticing what I'm doing. But no, the touch controls on these are really well done. As for the ear pads, you'll see that they sort of follow the shape of the ear cup. So there's sort of this ovalness to them, a little bit narrower at the bottom, a little bit thicker on top. And as for the actual padding itself, it's very much like a memory foam type of padding. Kind of maintains its shape and then slowly returns back. It's coated in the same kind of soft pleather material as the headband, so really they're super, super comfortable. They are a little bit narrow here, so folks with bigger ears might not like that so much, but for my ears, they fit perfectly. It touches the ear pad a little bit, but really my ear doesn't touch the ear cup at all, and so it's a really pleasant experience as it sits on my head. And it creates a nice amount of kind of blocking. It blocks out the sound around you, and in addition to then the noise cancellation, it does a really good job. Now, as for sort of the Bluetooth connection on these, it's really great. It uses Bluetooth 4.2. It can also connect via NFC if you use Android. And something I really love about these, 30 hours of battery life for a noise cancellation wireless headphone. That's pretty dang good. And of course, if the battery dies, you can always connect the audio cable here on the ear cup, you'll see. Additionally, the noise cancellation on it, I really, really like. It's not so strong that it like makes you nauseous like some other headphones, but it's strong enough where it blocks out the sound. It does a better job of blocking out low frequencies than higher frequencies, so sort of like low rumbles, low mid, kind of mid-rangey rumbles. It does a great job of blocking it out. Higher frequency hisses, it doesn't do as great of a job, but that said, it also is able to maintain music quality, and that to me is such a wonderful combination, and it's something that Sennheiser in general does really well. This sort of combination of noise cancellation that's light enough so that the audio quality sort of maintains a sense of spunk and movement. Additionally, these have a really good phone call quality. It's a very clear kind of easy sound. They use multiple microphones to pick everything up and to cancel out other sound, so it's really nicely done. And then another kind of fun feature of these headphones, which kind of goes along with the reactiveness of the ear cup, is that when you have the headphones on, you're playing music, when you take it off, the headphones notice that sort of like rocking motion, and so it'll actually pause your music when you take the headphones on and off, and then play them again when you put the headphones on. So it's kind of really well done, and it doesn't lag at all. It feels like Sennheiser really knocked these out of the park in terms of just the usability and the functionality of them. All right, so now let's take a listen to these babies. I think this is going to be quite fun because I already know that they sound great, but let's take a closer look here. All right, so I was just listening to the song Prince Johnny by St. Vincent, and in that song, the kick drum and sort of the bass synths going on had a really nice sense of separation, and yet the kick drum really came through with lots of nice subby energy. Really contributed to the groove overall, and I like the low end on these. Alright, yeah, I was just listening to the song No Dad by Taylor Hollingsworth, and in this song there's this big, super fuzzed out electric guitar, and sometimes with different headphones, let's turn it on. Sometimes with different headphones, that guitar tends to sound a little thin and too fuzzy, but these headphones did a great job of maintaining the thickness that guitar needs in order to be emotionally impactful for the song and for the attitude and vibe of the song. The mid-range feels really full, and the low mids did too. The bass guitar also had this nice sense of impact from the mid-range of these. Additionally, it's kind of interesting because in the high mids, I found that Taylor's voice sounded a little bit thinner than usual, but still maintained its place in the mix level-wise. So yeah, curious to sort of take a closer look at the upper mid-range throughout the week to see kind of what's going on there. Very interesting. Yeah, I was just listening to the song Inception by the McCoy Tyner trio, and the cymbals, it was interesting, like the cymbals in the high end kind of had more separation than usual from the attack of the piano. And it actually sort of makes me think that there's a dip somewhere in the lower part of the high frequencies because the cymbals didn't really sound as rich, but I still got a lot of texture from them and a lot of like kind of a nice like airiness and floatiness from them. So while they weren't like super accurate sounding, they still maintained a sense of nice aesthetic taste. So if you are looking for something more like straight, accurate, perfectly even frequency response thingy, these probably won't be the ones for you, but in that case you probably won't want noise canceling headphones. But anyway, definitely looking forward to sort of examining that a little bit closer this week too. Alright, I was just listening to the song Matter of Time by Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, and the soundstage on these is actually really quite impressive. I really liked how the sense of height had so much contrast in this song. The lowness of the bass combined with sort of like the high frequencies in Sharon's voice, the horns, the drums, really created a nice sense of height. And it felt nuanced because then the guitars and the organ kind of sat in the middle, and there was just great separation there between everything in the vertical domain. And I think that the sense of width too is really well done, because it's like, in this song in particular, things are panned out pretty heavily. It's not an LCR mix, but it is, things are panned out sort of quite a bit. And so sometimes with different headphones, it'll feel like I'm missing the sense of like unity between the two speakers, but because of how Sharon's voice lands right in the middle, feels very present, maintains intimacy, it seems like that sense of width is really well done because there is a sense of unity between these two speakers. I'm looking forward to listening and taking a kind of closer look at the frequency spectrum as time goes on throughout the week to give you a more detailed kind of analysis of it. But anywho, yeah, I will see you back at the Major Hi-Fi office. All right, here we go. Overall, the low frequencies of the PXC 550 have a boost in the subs, and I really like this boost because it really creates a nice sense of energy and groove down there. It also creates a nice sense of contrast between instruments in the low frequencies and instruments in the low mids. It sort of creates the sense of depth and dimensionality to the headphones that makes it just feel more vivid and more kind of interesting. In the mid-range of the PXC 550, there seems to be a bit of a low-mid boost, and there's also a boost in the middle part of the mid-range, to me sounding like it's right around 400 hertz. And as a result, things like guitars, synths, anything that is harmonically complex in that region just kind of feels like bigger and more powerful, very full. And yet there still maintains a sense of kind of clarity there. It doesn't feel cloudy at all. Additionally, the lower part of the high mids feels a little bit cut, and conversely, I guess, the higher part of the high mids feels like it's boosted. So the way this comes across is that vocals, while maintaining their clarity and level in the mix, tend to tonally sound a little bit different than usual. They're a little bit thinner. You hear less of the chest and more of the throat and the mouth. The PXC 550 has some emphasis in the high frequencies. The upper treble and the upper octave both seem to have big areas of boosts there. That sort of contrasts with the lower treble, which feels a bit cut. Now, as a result, you get a little bit less articulation from vocals and horns and strings, but you do get a little bit of extra texture and a little bit of extra air from them as well. Now, for a pair of noise-canceling headphones, the soundstage of these is really well done, actually. Probably the most drastic part of the soundstage is the sense of height. This boost in the subs as well as the boost in the upper octave really creates this big sense of contrast and makes the vertical domain just feel really tall in general. The sense of width feels quite wide and spacious, and there's a really strong sense of phantom center, so it makes me feel like these speakers are evenly matched with each other and that they do a good job of really sort of portraying the mixes, especially ones that utilize heavy panning. The sense of depth isn't something to write home about really, but because the mid-range is so thick, things like reverbs and room mics come through with a lot of clarity, and so mixes that utilize those sorts of tools for creating a sense of depth come through in a really nice way with the PXC 550. Overall, the PXC 550, it's comfortable. It's got a really nice noise cancellation that blocks out a good amount of noise, but doesn't suck out so much noise that you get that nauseous feeling. It's a really comfortable noise cancellation. Additionally, it's got a great sound quality, a thick mid-range, and a nice soundstage. So, if you're looking for something with a good battery life, by the way, 30 hours, noise cancelling, Bluetooth headphones, the PXC 550 is a really good option to consider. Thank you so much for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Alright, I will see you next time. Bye.